Welcome to Small Steps. My name is Seth Potts and I want to show you an introduction to pivot tables in Excel. A pivot table is a tool in Excel that allows you to calculate, summarize, and analyze data from a table. Pivot tables do not change the data you're analyzing, it simply allows you to visualize the data in different ways. In this example, I have some basic call for service data. I have the date and time of the event, the shift that's on duty at the time, the type of call it is, and the source, whether it's officer initiated or a dispatch call. If you get information in like this, you might want to analyze a few things. You could always sort and filter directly in the table or use COUNTIF functions, but that could be time consuming and would still limit some of your analysis. The easy way is creating a pivot table. To do this, you can either select the fields that you want to include, or you can just make sure that you're clicked anywhere in the data field that you're looking at here, as long as there are not any empty rows. Since I don't have any empty rows, I'll just click anywhere in our field here, and you're going to go up to the top and go to the Insert tab. In the very top left, you can see it's got pivot tables. It's got a couple recommended ones, but I just click on the pivot table, and you see this field come up here. The first field we're going to look at is this table arrange right here. This shows what was selected for your data. If I had a gap in my data and didn't go all the way down, I noticed it here, I could actually change that right here. The second is where we want the pivot table to be. A lot of times you'll just put it on a new worksheet altogether, just be a new tab at the bottom, or you could place it somewhere in this existing sheet, which I will do here. You could just click in there and you can click anywhere. I'm just going to go somewhere further right on the sheet and then click OK. And when you click on that, you get this table right here, this empty, and then you have the pivot table fields over here. If you do click out of that table, that all the properties, everything disappears. So all you'd have to do is click back in this. So it shows here the breakdown of the fields we have. These are all the different columns we had listed there. This is where we'd start, and you've got rows and columns, and then the values, and then filters. So in this example, let's say we wanted to see the shifts. You start with that on the rows. You can see it'll list those out there, and with calls for service, we can put that over here in the values, and it automatically goes here to count of shifts, which is what we want. So there's 471 rows. You can see that was complete information. So it's a quick little breakdown of the amount of calls for each of the shifts there. So the nice thing about pivot tables is you can kind of mix and match and move these things around very quickly. So if we get to this and say we want to see what the source of the calls were for each of those, you could do the put that over in columns and see the officer initiated or the dispatch calls, and have that broken down by each one of those. If we don't want the shifts, we can drag that off of there, and it would just leave us with the total for all the shifts together, just the total amount of officer initiated and dispatch calls here. So from there, say it's not quite what you're looking for, or you want to look at something else real quick, it's just real easy in pivot tables to take things in and out and move them around however you want. So we can come down and bring a new category in, the type of calls that we have here by the source, or you can move the shift back over to there, move things around however you need. You can also, within your results here, you can sort and filter just like you would on a normal table. I like to sort this last column, the totals, by the largest to smallest typically, so we'll get something like this. Another function within a pivot table is if you get a result in like this, say we see there's a lot of traffic calls that come out, and we want to see just a breakdown of that in a table, you can click on any of these, or double click on any of these rather, and it will create a new tab with a table of just specifically that information. So this 131 grand total for the traffic, I'll double click on that, and you can see over here it's built a table out that is everything within that category. So all traffic calls for all the shifts will have everything in there. So the next time you need some quick analysis on a table of data, create a pivot table and copy and paste your results directly in an email. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, click like and subscribe. The next video will be over grouping and field settings in pivot tables.